The Philadelphia Eagles head to Denver to take on the Broncos, and I gotta ask y'all a serious question. Can we get the W?
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today, I want to talk about this Eagles and Denver matchup. Yes, it's on the road, so I think we might have a chance to win. It's crazy that we are going into Week 10, and the Eagles could not bless that beautiful home crowd with a W. But before we get into this Eagles and Denver matchup and some things Jonathan Gannon said, Eagle Nation, hit that like button for your boy, subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you know when we drop these videos. And yes, the defense might not be growing roots, but the offense continues.
Keep that roots going, baby! Roots go three! 1, 2, 3, roots!
I forgot to change it to a smaller version when I was doing my play-by-play, but you understand the offense is looking like they're learning. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, although it ain't crazy, he's staying in the pocket a little bit more, delivering across the middle, throwing to the left side. If you look at the throw chart, he threw more to the left than the right. That is progression. Is it going to be quick enough for the Eagles organization? I don't know. We will see as we go, but he definitely is progressing slowly but surely, and he's still got that playmaker, that heart, and that leadership that you want to see in your quarterback. But let's get into this Broncos matchup, and it's pretty juicy. I mean, we saw what they did to Dallas, but let's look at what these two teams match up with, right? Points per game for the Eagles, 25.2. Points per game for the Broncos, 20.8. When you look at the points allowed per game by each team, 24.2 points allowed by the Eagles and only 17 points allowed by the Broncos. That defense, although Von Miller's gone, although they lost Patrick Surtain for a little bit against the Cowboys, and I don't know if he's going to be ready for the Eagles. I got to see. They play tough. They stop the run when need to be. Nick Fangio is a good defensive coordinator. When you look at the total yards on offense for both teams, 357.9 for the Eagles, 366.1 for the Broncos. Passing 221 to 252, and rushing 136 to 113. And again, Jalen Hurts plays in that 136 rushing, but we've seen the workhorse and Jordan Howard and Boston Scott get a lot of carries the last two games. And the Broncos will be our best run defense we played in a while. But looking at them, they're still outside the top 5. We might be able to take advantage of that rush defense. When you look at the defense for both teams, yards allowed, 369 yards allowed for the Eagles and only 337 yards for the Broncos. When it looks at total yards allowed, passing 249 for the Eagles, 239 for the Broncos, and rush yards allowed, 119. It's getting better, and only 98 for the Broncos. So this team's looks like they're going to try to stop our run via Jalen Hurts running and the new Jordan Howard and Boston Scott. So can Jalen Hurts win with Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, the ghost of Jalen Reagor, Dallas Goedert? Again, throwing to the left more last game, throwing in the middle, utilizing the pocket a little bit better. I think after back-to-back games where he only threw 14 and 17 times, you can see a 25 to maybe 30 pass attempts, because I do think Broncos are going to sell out against the run. I remember watching the Broncos play the Ravens earlier in the season, and the Ravens almost didn't rush for 100 yards. It's been 3 years since the Ravens haven't hit 100 yards total from running backs and Lamar Jackson, right? And they almost didn't. 2 or 3 years, and they almost didn't. But Lamar Jackson had 350 yards passing in the air. They are going to make Jalen Hurts throw the ball, and don't be surprised if he don't live up to the task. When you look at the Denver Broncos, you are reminded of just last week, right? what you saw lately is what we like to talk about. And they put the whooping on the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, stopping the run, stopping the pass. They manhandled that team in every facet of the game. However, let's look at their last 5 opponents, right? When you look at the Broncos, yeah, they manhandled the Cowboys 30-16, and it really shouldn't be 30-16. That's garbage time, as a lot of people say. Jalen Hurts only gets garbage time. Well, so did Dak Prescott last week. The previous week was the Washington football team where they beat 17-10. But prior to playing the NFC East and beating the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys, they were on a 3-game losing streak. Yes. And the Cleveland Browns beat them 17-14. The Las Vegas Raiders 34-24. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, although Ben Roethlisberger is like the ghost of Ben Roethlisberger out there, they beat them 27-19. I say that to say this. This team can score 30. They did against the Cowboys, but that was more of a fluke. They put everything together. I'm looking at the 3 losses, and I think we are going to play that type of Denver Bronco team, right? They got so up for the Dallas Cowboys, who were, pumping their chest, talking about the Super Bowl, 1 loss, and the Eagles hate the Cowboys, but so does the rest of the world. And good for the Broncos taking it down on them, right? They just lost Von Miller and all that. I think we get a more down-to-earth Denver team that might look past us in the grand scheme of things. You don't get rid of Von Miller if they're ready to say, you know what, the wins we get, kudos to that, but we're not making a push. So it's our time to attack them. We're not making a push either, but we got guys fighting for their jobs. Simple and plain. Guys who won't be back here player-wise, and maybe staff, and maybe Howie Roseman and Laurie are going to lock up this coaching staff, which I don't see a reason to. People got to be playing for their jobs. I think we can look at this Denver Bronco team and not see the almighty team that played against the Cowboys, but we are going to have to expect Teddy Bridgewater to make some throws, Cortland Sutton to catch some balls, Melvin Gordon to run between the tackles hard, and that defense, whether they're missing Surtain or not, to play tough. That's what style defense they play. Now, y'all know my take, right? I said this before the Chargers game, which, again, look at the bird's eye view from the Chargers game. 27-24, a walk-off field goal. We were in that close of a game to a plus 500 team who's a good team while playing some poor defense. And my take on it is this. When you get the C-plus under quarterbacks, the Jared Goffs, the Jimmy G's, the Matt Ryan at this point in his career, the Sam Darnolds, you see JG disguise coverage a little bit, send a blitz or two. And I know he sent blitzes against the Chargers, but when you send a linebacker and you drop Barnett back, that's not really a blitz. When you send one guy, but they're blocking with 6 max protection, it's not going to work. And when you send that one guy and they got 6 in max protection, bring your corners down. You can't rush an extra guy or 2 while they're in max protection and then expect corners to play off. It's just ridiculous. I can see Teddy Bridgewater having an average day-ish, C+, maybe, and Jonathan Gannon playing him different than the Herberts and the Carrs and the Bradys and the Prescotts and all these guys. Now, there was like 5 pieces, 5 quotes I wanted to take from Jonathan Gannon, all pretty much saying, I know what's wrong with the Eagles. I know I got to play my corners up. I know I got to mix in more blitzes. I know that I can drop back in coverage, but I got to mix it up a little bit. I got to make us dictate the flow of the game, this, that, and the third. He talks as if he knows everything he needs to do to correct it. And then come Sunday, he says, is it Brady? Is it Prescott? Is it Herbert? Is it Carr? Is it Mahomes? Nah, I'm not doing it. Is it Darnold? Is it Jimmy G? Is it Ryan? Is it maybe Teddy Bridgewater? Golf? I'm going to do it. It's a big difference. But let's listen to what he said. This is him talking about the 80% completion percentage for 5 quarterbacks on this season. Let's listen real quick.